What is going on, everybody? How's everybody's Wednesday going? I am still dreading the fact that I didn't win $1 million on Monday, I guess it was. But this is the first really big slate that I've been playing, and I haven't played Monday or Tuesday, partially because of personal stuff, and I just had to take care of, which was great. But also partially, it feels bad after you really have a good chance to win that much money to just like throw it back in. Well, there's a 250K tonight. And I'm back to just grind it out, Bobby. So we're going to figure out what to do with this slate. I'm going to talk through what I do. Say what's up when you get in the chat. We don't always have to go like I say my stuff and then you guys ask questions. We go back and forth. But it is something that like I would love your guys' feedback on. And in the meantime, I'm probably going to continue to do that because it is the easiest way for me to get this stuff rolling. Usually takes people a few minutes to get in. Although thanks to Mark and a bunch of other people, we've really, figured out some other things, and hopefully you guys are liking the site. Any thoughts on that, please put in the support channel. We want to help it and make everything the way that you guys want to see it. We also have our partnership that's about to be completed. Probably we're looking at the next couple weeks before baseball to get that done. And we're going to be offering a lot of stuff that we weren't able to offer before. It's really exciting. Anyway, with that said, please hit the like if you guys are there. I always appreciate that. And we'll get into tonight's slate because I feel like tonight's slate, unfortunately, because I love some of the first games, but damn, it's really frustrating because I really think that we're going to hear about a bunch of information, and I'm kind of shocked we haven't on a 12-game slate yet. Is anybody else like, this is kind of crazy. Like the guys we're supposed to go to war with, and the guys I said I didn't want to play, but I'm going to use them as fillers, and if I have to play them, I'll play them. But Rudy Gay and Precious and Sarr and Plumlee, all the best point per dollar guys, Gallinari, there's bus paths, massive ones to all of these guys. Sure, there's upside too, but like, do we really want to go to battle with these guys? Like, I don't know, man. I don't think this is the way you win a tournament, but you can use them as a placeholder and then adjust to news. To me, this is a slate where you're sitting at home until 10:30 Eastern time, because I do think we're going to hear other stuff later on today that we probably like didn't even think of that's going to come up. So just keep an eye out for that. And but with where we're at right now, those are the value guys I'm using. I'm using some Dragic as well, a little bit of Royce O'Neal. Again, these are placeholders because those games start later. If they started early, I'd be out on most of them. The only one that starts early enough is the Plumlee thing. But I think he has enough upside to offset that. So I think you can play him and then have more of your games towards the later and go that way. But the problem is I really like the Trey and Charlotte stack, or Bogdanovich and Charlotte. I like that game environment so much. I really, really want to like get, exposure to a lot of it. But the problem is, again, it's the first game and I'm still betting that we hear information. Hopefully we hear it before 7. But if we don't, right now, Gallinari, Capella, Hunter, Bogdanovich, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter will even make some of my lineups. I'm going to attack great game environments all the time, even more than I'm going to say, hey, let's wait for the news. You know what I mean? It's just too good of a game environment and teams that need to win and everything. I think you're going to see the best players with the balls in their hands. Sounds weird to say it like that. And the thing with LaMelo, it's funny because he has a plus 30-minute projection every night. He never plays more than 30 minutes. But at some point, that's going to change, right? Rozier is still my favorite. LaMelo and Bridges, let's call it T2 as my run backs with Plumlee. I don't even mind if you want to take the weird PJ Washington shot. The problem is this game is earlier, so I don't want to take as many shots in this game unless it's like Plumlee, who does have like a 40-plus upside. He can just get a double-double and get to 40. I know that's 30, but it'll get you to 40 most of the time with the assists because the guy always gets a bunch of assists too for more than people think. Anyway, the Atlanta side is really interesting, obviously, as I mentioned. So like we do want some exposure to that. And that's sort of how you have to treat these slates this time of year, play it by time zone. So I have like my priorities as like, okay, so I'm going to have Trey in some sort of Charlotte or Bogdanovich in some sort of Charlotte, or maybe the other pieces, maybe Capella in some sort of, not necessarily some sort of Charlotte, but I'm going to get some exposure to this game. I'm just not going to I'm not going to sell out completely on it, but I'm going to get some exposure to this game. Let's see if that's anything news. Justice Winslow is in. Anyway, we don't have the other first games that you need, except for, in my opinion, I think James Harden is like a phenomenal tournament play. And I know the Embiid with the Q tag now is like, will he not play? I think he's going to play. If he doesn't, obviously, we're going to change everything before things go, and we'll just load up on, basically Harden. Tobias Harris will get some love, more on Fanduel. Maxey will become in the conversation. And then do we really need to play DeAndre Jordan against a big team? Probably more Yang is where I'd lean, but probably you would want to get a little bit of DeAndre Jordan if he starts, if there's no Embiid. Obviously, this is not even a conversation. And then I'm just going by the other early games. Jokic is a great play. I don't think I need to explain why. It's a great matchup, but it's just Jokic anyway. He's always a great play. And not a great run back over there on the Washington side. One of them probably gets there, the Avdia Hachimura. And if that was like a late game, like the Clippers usually play, I would take shots on those guys and then rotate towards the ones I feel best about, or if other players were announced out. But it's the first set of games, so I just don't think we need to do much with it. I just think it's better to wait and hope. But Avdia, Neto, Ish Smith, there's upside for all those guys. Hachimura, they just all cross over against each other. KCP even, obviously Porzingis. Like I just don't want to get mess around with the other side. So my Jokic pairings are actually going to be with Giannis because I don't think it's a general build, and I'm going to hope for some of the value to hit later in the day. The only value stuff I'm using earlier, like the Gallinari value, some of the Hunter, not a ton of it, but a little bit. I'm using a little bit of Herder. I do like this matchup for Herder. I know it's a really weird play. Much better if it's a later game, but I'll take it. It's a good matchup for 3-point shooters. And Bogdanovich is not a value, but he's the other guy I'm using. So really that's the name of the game. So I have my just pairings, and then I'm going to get into questions and thoughts. The pairings are for me, KD, Luka, as your spend up pair. And I think there's too many good studs tonight to not play them. I keep trying to find ways around it, but you're going to have to get some of it. The way around it are playing Booker with a middling range. You know what I mean? I think Booker is a phenomenal play, but the pairings are, I like the not Luka, sorry, I had Luka Giannis, Jokic Giannis as a pairing because I just don't think that's a common pairing. And then using, the Sheets is in. And then using this thin value. I'm just going to finish. I'm almost done here with this real quick, Sheets. Trey and the Charlotte guys, Bogdanovich Charlotte guys, KD and Luka, SGA Murray. Those are the pairings along with Booker as my primary play. Seth Curry out. That only helps a little bit more even to KD. So, okay, that's interesting. Dragic is interesting. Yeah, he was already interesting anyway. So Dragic is even a better play now. Okay. And KD is probably gets a boost up from that as well. Sheets, how you doing? We're glad to have you.
Good. First of all, so I need to be updated on the relevant injury news. What is there anything? I heard kind of on the way home that Embiid's a legit questionable.
Embiid is questionable, but at least it's the first game, so we just have to wait and know. You know what I mean? And we talked about some pivots. It's going to be weird if DeAndre Jordan starts. I think you're probably going to play some DeAndre Jordan. Sucks, but we might have to. We don't have to, but we could do him, or we could play Niang, who seems like more of a sure thing for minutes in that game. The spread was messing me up a little bit earlier today too, and that's why I put it as my favorite bet. But now with Embiid questionable, for those of you who followed that, maybe hedge a little bit on the other side, because I don't feel as confident without Embiid. And Harden obviously becomes the best spend up, I think, if Embiid's out. I don't think there's any question about that, right, Sheets?
Yeah. So did you went overall? Did you go over the values and stuff?
So the values is to me non-existent. So I'm just delayed. So my values are delayed plays. You know what I mean? I just am gonna wait until I hear about any news, and then if Embiid comes in, then we don't need to wait. But I am using the guys who I don't want to use that I have. But Rudy Gay, that game doesn't start till 9, so I can wait and see. And if I'm stuck with Rudy Gay, then I'm stuck with Rudy Gay. I'm still very suspect of the numbers projection for him. But again, I also think he's got enough upside to get there. So whatever. I don't feel great about it, but I'll take a shot because I think these spend ups are a little bit too good. And the only guy below 10K on DK specifically that I feel as locked into that can really get there in a massive way is Booker. And you could make it a good argument for Garland, but I just am probably not going to do all that. I think I'm going to take some of these top level guys and play some suspect value and hope for better value later on. So like I am playing like SAR lineups like in a big way. I'm playing Precious lineups even more so because Precious's game doesn't start till later. I still like Precious, by the way, even if I get other value too. But I'm trying to like get my stacks together and then try to build my value towards later, just because I know there's going to be information, whether it's even even if it's not injuries, it's going to be starting lineup news. By the way, though, you could have bet me, I don't know, I would have given you like at least 10-1 that a major injury wouldn't have occurred by now, or a major guy being announced out or something. It's crazy to me that nothing has happened.
Let me throw a couple of more value guys out there just in case you didn't go over them. Okay. So you wanted to hold off maybe on SAR, maybe a little bit. Not SAR, on Rudy Gay until a little bit later. What do we think at the same position going off earlier of Gallinari? Do you like that?
Yeah, so I like Gallinari because he's an actual play. Like he's not a weird value that might not get minutes and might not get there. If he plays minutes, which he will if he plays, especially with John Collins out, he's going to get minutes. He's even going to get minutes at the 5. It makes even Capella a slightly worse play because he's back, because John Collins, this is what happens. He's been out too, but he plays their small ball 5. So like if the game is close, there's a chance that down the stretch that it's him at the 5. You know what I mean? Which sort of kills anybody who wanted to play a Kongwu or Capella, where they both should smash. But I really like Gallinari is the long and short of it. Like I think that he's a really good play. He is part of the early stuff that I am getting into, which is basically all in the Atlanta-Charlotte game, with the exception of even if Embiid's in. The problem is now that Embiid's questionable, if he's in, which he plays more than on questionables than like I would bet almost anybody else. Even if he's in, I still think Harden is like an incredible large field tournament play, but it's just hard to get to. There's just too many good guys today. Like he could smash and like there's going to be at least 2 other guys who are right there with him. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned Rudy Gay and Sarr. You mentioned Precious. We just went over Gallinari. Just I want to throw a couple of others at you. One guy I spoke about in the early session, still kind of showing up for me. Any interest in JaVale McGee?
Sure, but that's a later game also.
Okay.
It's only at 8 Eastern. I mean, yeah, that's a placeholder. It's just a much worse placeholder to me than the game that's even 30 minutes later. Like I'd much rather play Sarr, presuming that he's starting, and then I will have enough money left because I'm going to be mixing in pieces of Milwaukee, Sacramento, a little bit of Marcus Morris, Amir Coffey, not much, Precious, and Van Vliet. So I don't know. I guess if you're going to do it and you don't have later guys, I think I would say leave 400 on the table in case Sarr is not starting, and then you switch over to Precious.
Did you mention Davion Mitchell at all?
It's another one of those delay it. It's not a great situation for him. Is getting ownership because people are smart now. They understand that you should delay. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. He's projected. I'm looking at 10% for him. I think realistically it ends up like 3%.
Right.
Maybe 2.
Did you talk about any more about? I mean, I know you said you didn't like him all that much, but did you go over Kleber at all again? Same type of thing.
Exactly the same kind of thing. The only problem is he's in the earlier game. So I found Kleber. I find him to be fine, and I think either he or Powell on Fanduel are fine. But I'm not excited about it. I'm hoping we get better stuff every half hour, and that extra half hour might be enough for us to get something. You know what I mean? We might hear a Phoenix, Houston, or Houston does this all the time. They 45 minutes before the game, 2 guys are ruled out, and all of a sudden it's a different slate. You know.
And you touched upon Goran Dragic, who I had as a very reasonable play before the Seth Curry news. So you'd like to think that continues to be a really good play.
And not only Seth Curry, Cam Thomas as well, which is the other guy who can spell those minutes. So that's the real thing. I'm curious what your projections come up with on that one, because that is one that I actually think it's tough with Dragic on a back-to-back, but it's a different situation. I think it's going to start to look like I like Dragic, but I'm actually going to probably we might be by the time we're, at lock, where it ends up Dragic at like 60% or something, you know?
Right. So now, and the last
Maybe
guy is like not as much of a straight value play. He's actually like I consider like the good player or whatever. We still like, I presume, Beverly, right?
Yeah, I like Beverly. Again, if you buy that extra time too. You can maybe pivot if you want to, but I still like him. I just like him on his own. He's a reasonable,
Right.
very reasonable play.
Okay, so now we're back at the spend ups here, and my story about the spend ups is exactly the same as it was. I mean, I could really take or leave, not take or leave, like all six big spend ups. Really, I could be very, very content with any of them.
So that was the other thing I was going over before you got here is how I would do my spend ups. Okay. So if I was going to play Trey, just because the nature of the slate, I would want a run back.
Well, yeah, I don't even consider him a spend up. I don't even have him as a top spend.
No, I hear you, but this is just my way of doing it. You know, for what it's worth. Trey with a Charlotte. I actually like Bogdanovich with some Charlotte or whatever. And you could play Gallinari with Bogdanovich, or even Gallinari with Trey. To be honest, at Gallinari's price in this kind of a matchup, and then you run back Ball, Bridges, what's it called, Rozier, or you can add Plumlee to any of those two if you want to make a little game stack. I love the game, so I'm okay with it, but I don't like this the first game. I really like KD, Luka, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Murray, obviously, Booker on his own, and Giannis and Jokic. Booker would be in more of my middling lineups, or I would try to play him with another pairing that was lower, like a Bogdanovich, a Bogdanovich, Gallinari, Rozier, Booker kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Just to try to get some sort of like, that's lineup build stuff more than it is,
Right. I wanted to explain to Evan kind of what you mean, because I see Evan in the chat, and the other people that know what Bobby's kind of referring to can just kind of chill for a second, because Evan's the man, so I want to make sure he knows what's going on.
Yeah,
he learns a little bit more about this. So the idea, Evan, if you didn't figure this out, is that when you have guys that are in the same game that are on opposite teams, especially the guys that are going to have the ball, a lot, the concept is that these guys kind of like push each other to do well. Like if one guy who's going to have the ball a lot is continuing to score, it's going to put even that much more pressure on the other guy to score as well. So you get these dynamics where they just kind of go tit for tat and take it upon themselves to go after each other during the whole game. So one guy's points, in a kind of funny way, boosts the other guy's points. So the idea is that you want to play guys that correlate with each other, that if one guy scores, another guy who may otherwise not be as motivated to push it now is forced to push it. So this way you get the benefit of both players' points. That's why
not to mention, but should be factored in, 6.2% of games go into overtime. That's just games, period. Right. Games within a 5-point spread go in 7.8, and games within a 2-point spread go in 8.2%. These are all reasons. That's an extra, and people will laugh and go, "Oh, well, then you're still betting on a 12-1." No, but when that happens, because you also get the usage down the stretch anyway, so that's just a bonus. And when that bonus hits, that's how people win a lot of these GPPs.
Right. And then likewise, like Bobby, let's say you have a guy like I don't know who's in the game with like a big spread. Okay, so this is a kind of a bad example, but let's say Jokic, for example, they're playing Washington, and they're favored by say 7 points or 8 points or something like that. If you're worried that the only way that Jokic scores a lot of points is if he plays like the whole game, he's not actually the whole game, but if the game blows out. Like think about Haley's games, right? Whenever the game it becomes like a 20-point game, they take the starters out and the subs come in. So the starters just don't score as many points if it's a blowout as if it were a close game. So the idea is that if you're going to play a guy who's on a team that's favored by quite a bit, what you really need is for that game to stay close. This way, the guy is going to stay in as much as possible. So what you like to do sometimes is make sure to play someone from the other team, which would by definition make the game somewhat closer. So the theory is again that if you're playing guys in blowout that rate to have a good chance to blow out, you want to it could be thought that you want to play someone from the other team that rates to keep it close. So that's what we kind of talk about. Sometimes we go over too quickly, but that's kind of what we mean by that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm gonna draw to some questions in chat here just to go. K9 Bronco, hey bud, thanks a lot. He loves the site. Great to hear it. Great job, Mark. Great job, Evan. Great job, Kenny. And favorite early game is definitely the Charlotte Atlanta game. The Seth Curry is out, so that we got that already. Dragic, yes. Drew versus Russell. I don't know which the question is going to. This guy's cool, man. Like Mkusa, I always call him because that's his name in the Discord, I think, but or maybe at Twitter. But it's are you talking about Drew or Russell? Like I know Russell, Drew's a great defender. I still kind of, I mean, I don't know what the thought is. Oh, Drew versus Russell just straight up. Oh, they're not playing each other. Never mind. I guess I would go. I like both of them, but I sort of theory behind either one if I'm going to make that play. So I guess Drew is probably the better answer. No, they are playing each other. I don't know. I think I would play Russell. I don't know. I think I'd play. I'm sorry, I got totally mixed up with Fox there for a second. I think I would play Russell more than I'd play Drew, but it's a really close call because I think Drew has a higher median and I think Russell has the more upside.
Hey, Bobby, did you say that Cam Thomas was out?
I had Cam Thomas as out with him, but I don't have it as official.
Okay.
Do you not have that?
I don't have that. I mean, like, well, all I say is that I'm going through and some projection models still have him in. That maybe they're old. You know, I don't know.
No, but I mean, what do they have Seth Curry in?
No.
Oh, so maybe he is. Oh, you know what? I think it is. I think they announced he was still questionable, and I may have misread it. Okay. But Dragic is going to start looking like an absolute crushing play if Cam Thomas is out, especially. And I'm just going to say, like, if he ends up like in the 50-60% range, I'm going to play him a tiny bit, but it's not going to be a core play for me. I get it if you want to, but there's just a million other routes.
You think that Patty Mills is going to show up as a really good play?
Patty Mills, that's interesting. Not a guy I tend to play in these situations, but I guess the thing is we saw him fail enough times with KD out, even without Curry, but yeah, you're right. It would have to be Patty Mills. So I guess Patty Mills, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, he would have to be. Especially
I'm updating stuff right now as we speak. I'll let you know what,
You know what, Patty Mills with those minutes, I think absolutely is a good play. So it sucks because I think there is going to be better value, but one of Mills or Dragic is a reasonable starting point, especially if Cam Thomas is out.
Yeah, I mean, I know our G always has him at 32 minutes already.
Yeah, not sure if that's the reality. Zubac,
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I got you. Okay, yeah, Cam game time decision. Yeah, that's what I thought. As Rody said, guys, please hit the like button. We always appreciate it. But Cam game time decision. Zubac is a no for me. Ayton at 23 minutes is, I don't know who's projecting Ayton at 23 minutes. I don't know what that's about. You just think the game's going to blow out that bad, I guess. He's definitely sneaky, and I mentioned earlier that I really like him, but he was like 6.5 or something. It's just like weird. Like he doesn't, for my 7.4 guys today, I just want that ceiling, and he does have it against this team, but it has to go his way, like exactly. And I'm so into Booker, it's hard for me to play Ayton. But I do think that he's a really good tournament play. So I've mentioned him on a number of shows today, but I think he's a good play. I just don't think I'm going to end up with much of him, to be honest with you. There's a lot of good plays tonight who I'm not going to end up with. That's just too.
There are.
This is the stud. So the studs that I'm going to play the most. I think the natural, like Trey with a run back, because I think you have a legitimate run back in a game environment that you want to attack. I think KD versus Luka. If you're playing only one lineup, maybe you don't need to correlate like this. I still think it's the better idea to do on a slate like this because you're going to have pretty spread out ownership. I think if there was one guy I was playing tonight and I was forced, gun to my head, to play one spend up, it would be Jokic.
Yeah, I would play Luka.
Yeah, I just want to mention Luka's assists are way down when Dinwiddie and Brunson play. Like he doesn't hit double-digit assists, so takes away a lot of the upside. So if I'm playing the way I'm playing this slate, the way I'm playing Luka, and I love Luka too. but I'm playing Luka with Durant because I mean, how do we not love Durant? You know what I mean?
I mean, Dallas is pretty good defensively, but
and you have no Seth Curry. So you have your 2, 3, 4, and potentially number 6 options all gone, and you're the best scorer in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, like Kevin Durant's probably going to score 50 real life points tonight. I don't care who's guarding him. You think he matters to him whether Durant?
He might score 50 real life points and not be optimal.
That's right. I mean, hey, we saw that the other night with was it Trey or somebody did that the other night?
Yeah.
LeBron center options tonight. Well, he's been playing center, so that's my really get weird. Hey, I know the Lakers well play. Like, first of all, LeBron always could sit. Second of all, this LeBron at the center has not worked at all. Like, they've been so much worse with it. They were bad already, you know. Why in the hell don't you just let Dwight Howard play? Now, if he plays and starts, Dwight Howard could literally put up 40 fantasy points and it wouldn't even be that crazy of a thing. If he doesn't start, he probably will play 0 minutes. Like, maybe not 100%, but if it's well, the only other route is if it's like 15 minutes into the game and 5 minutes in the game is 15-0, then you might see Dwight Howard because Cat is. I mean, why would they play LeBron at the 5 against Cat? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Hey, Bobby, I just want to give you an update on what projections look like with with Curry out. As I kind of suspected, you get Patty Mills as like a top 5 value now. You have it's still Gay and Sarr at the top, but then it's like Dragic and Mills. And I got both Dragic and Mills like right now. I mean, like at 31 minutes. Ignore this ownership. I mean, because both these guys are going to be pretty chalky, I think.
The only thing I want to say about Patty Mills, and look, I'm a Patty Mills guy. He doesn't look right. And I just want to point out that when we had the same situation when KD was out, it was like him but he
busted like 10 games in a row.
Yes, substitute KD for Curry. That's basically the same thing. And you now have added Dragic. And he busted all of those games except for one, which he put up 40 fantasy points. And he busted all of the other ones. Now, it feels weird as a chalky play. It feels great as a 5%-ish owned play. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at on that one.
Yeah.
But Dragic feels fishy to me too on a back-to-back. So Cam Thomas is in. You know,
okay.
If this wasn't a 12-game slate, I'd be saying, hey, why aren't we playing Cam Thomas? In fact,
you can play Nicholas Claxton. You can play Nicholas Claxton if you want.
Why wouldn't you play Cam Thomas?
I don't know. I'm not saying
you take away the guards. This guy's awesome with the ball in his hands. Who knows how much they'll let him do that, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So it's probably too large a field for this slate. So Kleber not starting. Okay, we expected this. Winslow is starting. We did not expect that, but I'm not surprised actually either. It's going to hurt Williams on FanDuel.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let me take, and I've been pretty derelict in this. Let me take a look at FanDuel and see what things look like. If there's any real big difference. Yeah, you know who's showing up as a ridiculous play over there is RJ Barrett at 7,200.
Yeah, I'll take on FanDuel. I'm still a little bit geared towards. I'll take. I do have some RJ Barrett, so don't get me wrong. But I like playing Julius Randle 84 and pairing that with Sabonis and Giannis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Isn't that a nice little start? Because you can see.
Jesus Christ!
It's pretty easy to see the 55 out of Randle possibly, and maybe even just a 45 at 8,400 out of Sabonis, and you get Giannis with the 65 or 75 whatever, and boom, you still have plenty of money left to spend. Actually, believe it or not. So
let me do this just for fun. I'm going to run some Saber Sim builds just for DraftKings just to see what it gives me. And I'm very curious what it got. I imagine, a bunch of Rudy Gay and Sarr and maybe double studs. But let me see what it actually does. But like you said, I mean, it's not just about that. It's got to be about delaying some of these things till later.
Yeah, that's the only issue also with the Patty Mills stuff.
Right. And I was about to say something really stupid. I was just, well, what could happen later though? Right.
It's just, I mean, even a starting lineup could end up being like the game changer. What if Eric Gordon's out and Josh Christopher's starting, which he never starts? and he's really interesting. Or even, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that could happen. That's just one really weird example.
Yeah, my initial builds, as I would suspect, would get me like 90% Goran Dragic, like 80% Rudy Gay. You know what I mean? Just because of the way they project point per dollar, and then Giannis would be the top spend up, along with DeJounte Murray, get a bunch of that.
The Murray thing, I like Murray, but again, the way I play my lineups on these situations is I'll play Murray and SGA together, or neither probably, except for on Fanduel. I would play a little bit of SGA on Fanduel on his own. And I also want to address one other. Sorry, no, go ahead, Sheets.
Yeah, go for it.
No, just about the interest in Chicago and Utah. I really like Conley on DraftKings, and I really like Mitchell on Fanduel. And one of them probably gets there, one of them probably doesn't. But I like Mitchell at 8,300 and I like Conley at 5,500. It just makes a lot of sense. Not together, obviously, but on each side. Trey Mann is a Trey meh for me.
Hey, look at that.
I've pulled in the sheets now. You're rubbing off on me. But
you missed one. You missed one earlier.
What was it?
You missed my golf reference at the end when you said that that Kenny liked Jimmy Walker, and I told you there'd be a dynamite play. You didn't quite get it.
Oh my God, I got it now.
Yeah,
I have Johnny Walker. That's why I was thrown off.
Yeah, Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, hashtag DFS dad jokes.
Sounds good. All right, guys, I have to actually build my lineups because I've got them all laid out, but I have to actually.
Hey, I got another weird one that's showing up.
Yeah, go ahead, throw it at me.
I'm getting some Emmanuel quickly.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it, to be honest with you. It's kind of a cool like spot, like. He could get blowout run. He's going to get regular run anyway. That team is terrible at defending. There's a massive upside. I'm into it. I like the play. I would prefer it on DraftKings because of the 3-point bonus. And it's okay on both sites, but I would rather it on DraftKings.
I don't think I would play Dragic and Mills together.
It's not horrible, but I just think it's 12 games slate. I don't think you need to do that.
Right. Less than 2.
All right, guys. And any other questions? I'm about to get out of here in just a minute because I need to finish building. It looks like we're dried up on questions. Sheets, I'm going to let you take it away. Good luck to everyone tonight. I'll be in Discord. And let's make some money, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed to complain, but I would kind of like a little better results out of NBA. This set after not 30 days removed from me hitting the huge score on the NBA, but NBA can be very frustrating. I'm getting like a way too much Danilo Gallinari. So what I'm doing is I'm making it so that I really don't have more than 2 players in any one team. I just don't need a 3-person stack. Let's see, 0. Getting a little annoying here. Games, stacks. Let's start all over again. Let's make 30 lineups, and then I'll come back to questions in a minute. I by the way, I updated the hockey sheets. They should be up right now. And just a little behind the scenes look, we actually had a nice call with the SaberSim folks today. We're going to be integrating that very shortly, giving you guys the option to access that in some way. I haven't figured it all out yet, but let's see. So I'm going to rerun this build. Yeah, I don't want to have. I have all these stacks here, which I don't want. Why am I getting... stacks? What if I made it 10% max? I'm a little confused with why I'm getting all these lineups with 3 or 4 of one team in them. It's a little annoying. Unable to meet exposures. Let me go back to the rules. I'll get rid of these rules here. Oh, I don't want that. Crap. All right, let's start again. No wonder I was getting these stacks. I set a rule. This is why I don't like to do the rules where I should show you what I'm doing here. But I can't exactly show you the DraftKings lineups. Okay, so here we are. So now I rebuilt this, and I want to make sure that every lineup correlates a little bit. These other rules I'm just not getting to work. Rules. All lineups must include group. Let's get rid of this too. Remove this rule. We'll start a new build again. See what happens. I will show you the Fanduel build when I make that. Dragic and all these guys. Okay, so let's see. Once again, I don't really want... Oh, that's good, actually. Give me some Embiid. I want to make sure that Embiid is playing before I do anything else. Let's see what questions I have in here. So, what do we have here? What's the one game? Let's go this way first. Cam Thomas available to play. Any interest in the Utah-Chicago game? I like a little bit of Mitchell and of Gobert. The one game besides the Atlanta game that you have interest in both sides. I honestly, I don't think I'm as interested in the that Charlotte game as other people might be. There's been kind of a but both teams are actually trending the wrong way as far as pace goes, if that matters to anybody. I guess as you get near towards the end of the season, these games matter more. You kind of tighten up their defenses just a little bit. So I'm not quite as interested in that. Big Pete, yo, Bugs, why aren't you helping me? Who do I play tonight? Best plays. I don't know. I just can't quite answer that without any context, obviously. You want the best play? All right. Best play is Giannis. He's the best play. The best play is Giannis, and the best cheap play, since you asked, is right now is Rudy Gay. But that could change. I apologize. Towns or Jokic? Well, the reason why I could make the case for Towns is that you could play Towns with LeBron, where Jokic doesn't really have a legitimate run back with Washington. You want to build a FanDuel lineup? Let's do that. First, what we'll do, and we'll do it right out of the projections. How about that? We'll hand build. We're not going to have SaberSim do that one. We're going to do this one kind of by hand. So this is the this is FanDuel. So like I said, it looks like so this is the interesting thing, right? So you have these guys all rank really, really strongly, but I have Giannis as significantly higher owned than these guys. So I think I'd prefer to dip into the lower owned guys. So the first one, it kind of is interesting to me. Well, first I see Cat as, boy, oh boy, I see Cat at 5% ownership. Yikes. You know, if I can get away with it, I'm a hero, right? Because remember, this is what I'm doing. I'm fading Embiid. I'm fading Jokic at the position. Doesn't quite rate as strongly as these guys. Maybe DeJounte Murray is the way to start this thing. So have him at 11%. Then I got Embiid at only 13%. And Jokic at 12. Who do I prefer, Embiid or Jokic? That's the question. I guess a good answer is, do I really need the 400? So let's just say I start. We're going to do this totally by hand. So let's pull up a. Oh, let me share my screen. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's share the screen. Okay. Share screen. I think this is working. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we're going to share my screen. And we're going to build. Let's find. Let's find this lineup. I just can't find the one I want. Let me just see. Okay, so we're going to edit this. And we're going to do exactly, we're just going to clear the decks. And we're just going to build literally based on my sheets. How about that? And then we'll try to add a little bit of correlation and see what we come up with. So again, we're talking about Giannis being the best play, but he's at 27% ownership. But what I'd rather do, I'd rather play Giannis than Luka on Fanduel, right? Because the ownership is very similar, but I have Giannis rated higher. So it's going to be Giannis. He'd be like kind of the chalky idea. Or you could do what I said and play maybe DeJounte Murray, which would be a kind of a cool galaxy brain type thing. And you play that along with maybe Embiid at low ownership. Or Jokic, like I said. So let's put those in for now. Let's put in Murray over here. And then we'll put in, well, for now, let's put in Embiid. Game time decision based on bad back. That's not a good sign. But so now we have 54.86 per player with these guys. So now what I like to do is let's then see which rates to be kind of a good play that might be somewhat cheap. So Barrett was the one that I identified, right, as being a really strong play. Yeah, I don't like it, Project Mayhem, the Chris Dunn. So I think that RJ Barrett would be a good play. And let's put him, when I put him at shooting at small forward, if we put him at small forward, now we're 5,200 a player. We could still get there. Okay. Now, what would be nice, here's the thing, is if there was someone at OKC we could play, or someone in Cleveland we could play, or someone on Portland we could play. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. Let's just take a look, just for funsies, and let's see. If you rate these by points per dollar, who shows up? Actually, Brandon Williams looks like a pretty good point per dollar play that we could use to correlate with RJ Barrett. That'd be kind of fun. So let's put him in. Put in Brandon Williams. And we're still at 5,200 a man. We're still in good shape. Yeah, I don't know if I could do Waters on OKC for this particular purpose. But let's just see what we have here. Let's take a look and see. Oh, we have Sar, but he's at that same position. And he's not really the guy I want to correlate anyway. So anybody else that really looks great in here? So nobody really from OKC. I mean, you have Shea, but we're not going to be able to afford him, right? Like if we put Shea in, for example, oh, he's not even. I mean, that we're 4,050 a person. You think we can get away with that? Probably not, right? And he's actually questionable to play 36 minutes on Monday, scored over 30 points. If this angle forces, so we got to watch for this. This is a late questionable. Well, this is rather annoying, right? But let's just say if we wanted to do this just for the hell of it. I mean, you have Brandon Williams and RJ Barrett, right? You have DeJounte Murray and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now you got to be able to make all this work with cheap value. So let's just see if we have enough cheap value, given the way it is now, to make it work. Well, Rudy Gay helps at a flat minimum. Kleber helps at 4K. So let's do this. Let's put in Rudy Gay at small forward. Boom. Let's put in, who did I say? Let's remind myself. Who I said power forward? Kleber, right? It's not particularly sexy, but now we're just filling in. Now we're just filling in dudes, right? Just to make this other stuff work. So put in Kleber at 4K, 43.50, and we need a shooting guard and a small forward. Can we do it with like reasonable plays? Let's see. You got Amir Coffey. Wait, what position do we need? We need shooting guard and small forward specifically. Well, you could do Amir Coffey, and you could do Dante DiVincenzo. Does that work? I mean, does it add? I mean, it adds, right? Amir Coffey, and you can play DiVincenzo. Then, if you want, now you can afford the aforementioned Nikola Jokic. The only thing that I don't like about this, aside from the fact that we have a couple of really bad plays, is that this Shai game time decision thing can really be a pain in the neck. You know? But this is a pretty cool low-owned lineup where you can, again, I don't know if I'm not actually going to play this, but kind of try to analyze, is this good or not? So you have two sets of correlating players. You have Murray and Alexander. You have Brandon Williams and RJ Barrett. You have a big stud in Jokic. And then you have these value plays, and this lineup, no one's going to have this, right? So like for now, I'm going to go ahead and save that just for the hell of it. Now, again, there are other guys. I mean, there's injury news that's going to come out, all kinds of stuff, right? So we got to watch this. Now, the next thing I want to do, as long as we're on FanDuel, is let me build some SaberSim stuff, because I am doing some multi-entering over there. I think I have 20 lineups over there. If Shai is out, that all that comes into play. Yeah, Maladon and whoever else starts. Honestly, we'd have to examine that later. So let's upload the Fanduel projections into here, and we'll do. I don't care about these guys. Okay. We'll do 20 lineups. Well, actually, we'll do 19 lineups because we have that one already done. Actually, yeah, let's do 19. So let's we'll build 19 lineups because you already built that hand-built one. Let's take a look-see, see what we come up with on FanDuel. I imagine same types of values. Yeah, RJ Barrett's like a really strong play. This one gets you Giannis. This one also gets you Patty Mills and Luka. This is a pretty cool lineup. Jalen Brown, Aaron Gordon. See, these are that's why I like Sabres. If you get stuff you never would have had otherwise. So I'm gonna fire these, I think. So what we'll do is we'll replace. I'm not going to use the entry editor for this on SaberSim. We're going to just do it this way. And then we're going to do DraftKings. Just see something. Okay, so what we're going to close over here. This is good. Boom. And then upload. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do you want to build a hand-built one with DraftKings? All right, let's see what happens. Screw it. Let's what's this? This is okay. Let's build a hand-built one with DraftKings. Let's just like clear the decks here. Oh, this one looks pretty cool. Okay, so again, you could just run this through SaberSim, whatever, and build whatever, or run it through Optimizer. But let's have some fun. Let's build something that has some upside. Okay. So we could just, take points per dollars, but let's again, we'll sort by Sheets value score, and we'll just first let's look at the top, because you definitely have to take one of these, probably one of these studs. But what's cool about it again is the same thing. You get these guys at low ownership. They rate a little bit worse. I think that Jokic or Luka is going to be the best play on DraftKings. So let's put in Luka. It's either going to be Luka or Jokic. That's my opinion about what's the best play here. Could be Embiid too. Weesh. Well, let's just let's start with let's put Luka in. Okay. We'll put Luka in. Then what we could do, we could go straight for correlation. And again, you have you have these value plays over here on Brooklyn, that being Dragic and or Patty Mills. So you could play them all. I mean, if you want. This is actually kind of an interesting way to play. Like if you played Mills, I didn't get to that Torrey Craig thing. And then let's say you really stack these guys. So let's say you played Dragic and Mills, and then also let's say you played Durant. So you played Durant, Dragic, and Mills with what's his name being out. You run it back with Luka. Or Luka, you could say you run it back with Durant, right? The only thing with this type of stack is that you really need Durant to go off, and it's just unlikely that you're going to need Mills to make a bunch of shots for, you know what I mean? And if he's making a bunch of shots, then I don't know if Durant's going to do it. So let's take Durant out. Let's just put in one of these guys. But it's funny. Bobby didn't think Dragic was that great. Mills didn't look that great. So let's, screw it. Let's just put in Durant. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to focus on value that is not Mills and Dragic. But let's see if we can't get away with not going these cheap values. And then we'll cheat. Then we'll use SaberSim and build probably a better one than I'm building by hand here, actually. But let's just take a look. I think that Gallinari is probably a good play here. Power forward. And then Beverly. So let's go to Beverly first. We'll put him in at guard. Beverly at guard. He's questionable for now, so you got to keep an eye on that. Questionable. Questionable. He played Monday anyway, so that should be fine. So now we're at 45-40 a person, and you got the Luka and Durant, correlation. Yeah, it would be nice if you could play LeBron also here, but that's just not possible, right? Look what happens if you put LeBron in. Not enough money left. But what you could do, you get away with this? Take Durant out. So now you just play Luka by himself, and now you could play James, LeBron with Beverly. It certainly makes some sense. Now let's see what kind of. Now we're at 44.80 a person. I'd love to not just go straight into punting yet. But let's see what we got. There's Davion Mitchell. There's all kinds of just these real cheapos. Lonnie Walker, Kevin Herter. Back to this Emmanuel Quickly idea. So maybe we should just eat it and take Patty Mills, right? Because we're not playing, right? We're not playing, what's his name anymore? Not playing Durant, so now we can get away with playing Patty Mills. So let's put, I got a time here. We'll put in Patty Mills. So now we got a little bit of correlation. And now we got James and Beverly. And again, the key is to not have to go into full punt mode here. Because none of the punts are that great. So let's see. Who do we got at small forward that rates to be decent here? Avdia, not really. Royce O'Neal, not really. Back to RJ Barrett. Okay, so now it's something. If we can somehow afford this, right? If we could somehow afford this, that would be great. And it's got to start, obviously, with playing Rudy Gay. We could do this, because check this out. You can play Rudy Gay. You could play Sarr. Boom. And totally make this work. And now you get 4,700. So I can't really finish the rest of the lineup for you, but you see what we're doing here, right? So now we got Luka by himself, who I like. You got Patty Mills, a good value. Then you got Barrett, who's just kind of good on his own. Then you got the LeBron Beverly thing, and then you're filling it in with some value. So what would be cool is if there's a good 4,700. I can't really put it in, but let's just take a look and see. You got Plumlee, 4,400. That could work. You got Lonnie Walker, 4,700. That could work. So I'm going to leave that to you because I can't really fill. Oh, then there's Gallinari. That's probably the best play, actually. So that's one thing that you can do. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to build some Saber Sim lineups and see what they look like. Build some Saber Sim lineups, see what those look like. That I can do, I think, because I'm changing. Right, I'm changing stuff. So let's take a look. Let's build it. It's got 6:43. Got plenty of time. Let me just see here if you guys put any news for me. Or just nothing. Okay, good. So let's build here. Okay. Let's ignore these. I'm not playing these guys anyway. And we'll go 30 lineups, these sliders, and see what this comes up with. Now, again, this is, not pushing stuff back. This is just really making the 30 best kind of upside lineups here. I just want to see what I get. Yeah, a whole bunch of Dragic, Rudy Gay, DeJounte Murray, Barrett, Giannis, Jokic. He's getting a decent amount of Chris Middleton. That's interesting. And I'm still getting that Emmanuel Quickly play, which is very interesting. So that's actually pretty encouraging. It's actually a pretty good lineup, this first one. Anyway, Giannis, that's pretty good actually. So we'll probably at least do some of these, but this is kind of the idea. I mean, you just you look at the board, you look down you sort by either sheets value score, point per dollar, going back and forth, and then just kind of fill in your lineups. That's a way that you could just build like kind of a very passable, usable lineup to give you a sweat. Okay, so let me fill in these things over here. And again, we got to keep an eye on the, obviously, we have to keep an eye on the injury news. So let's put this. Very good. And then, oh, that was this line up here. So let's put that one in over, actually pretty good. So we'll put this one over here. This one over here. And we'll put oh, and then we'll put 1, 2, these 3 over here. And then yeah, so that should be it. Let me just review also, because I don't know if I'll be back. Oh, I have too much DeAndre Hunter who I don't want to play. And I'm probably going to change some of this. I don't know if I'm going to want to have that much of this Rudy Gay play if other stuff opens up, especially. So we'll deal with that later. But let me just kind of review who my favorite golfers are for those of you that want to do that. Actually, you can just look at the video. We'll watch the last 5 minutes of the video, 10 minutes of video. That'll tell us tell you who our favorite players are. Let me look at questions real quick. Middleton over Barrett. No, I like Barrett better than Middleton. Precious, he's fine. But that's pretty much it. But again, unfortunately, you're just going to have to keep, checking for injury news. And this is why the NBA is really, really difficult. Baseball is just so much easier. You put your lineups in, nothing ever changes, and you just enjoy your, high-owned cleanup hitter, go 0 for 4, which he does 30% of the time. Okay, that'll do it. Oh, you want me to review PJ real quick? No, you know what? You can look at the YouTube video for free. I'm telling you, it's all right there. Look at the last 10 minutes as Bobby and our best plays, and you just deal with that. Okay, that'll do it.